me just squeeze this because this one is about squeezing. So let me just squeeze this, and yep, there you go. So now this is what the data shows like. So this is the data. So what we can see is this is the sales performance and so on. So the sales from January, February, March, and so on. And then what you can actually do is you can actually create another pivot chart from this. So pivot chart, and let me choose bar chart. Of course, this one is a bit tricky because it will show us from the smallest to largest. So I need to actually click here, right click, format axis, categories in reverse order. And then let me just remove this, remove the legend, remove the grid line. And of course, let me just right click and hide all fill. Okay, and put the data labels. And then right click over here, format axis. Because some managers, they don't like big numbers, they want short form. So yeah, there you go. And maybe this case, I'll put here number format into 2 decimal places. Okay, so now it looks better. Then later I'll just adjust the title accordingly. So this one I'll do what? I'll just put it over here. Okay, there you go. So now we do have this data. We can just adjust this. Here what I'll do is I'll want to make a story saying that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is highest and so on. So let me just select these two. Right click and report connections. Okay, wait, maybe I need to select one by one. Report connections. And wow, so I need to actually select all the pivot table because otherwise it will work. Meaning to say, if you see when I click ATG system, there you see it changes automatically. Okay, so this is how it works. And this one also I need to do the same thing. Report connections again, select all these, and then yeah. So now you just see when I click Johor, so now we see, okay, Johor we only have compressor, and then we only have this company Kedah. So for Kedah we do have 2 different companies and these products. Kelantan, okay, Kelantan is like this and so on. So this is how you can actually play around. And over here, since we have a space, so it's up to you whether you want to make a storyline and so on. So what I'm going to do is I want to make a story. I want to say that this company is the highest and what is the total sales and blah blah blah. So what I'm going to do is let me just copy this. So this is a bit the hard work, but let me just do it. So equal X lookup. I'm going to match this. I'm going to select this and select this. So now we have this value. So we get to know that regardless what value, it will follow this is the value. And what I will do is I'll just select this. So this is the top customer. So meaning to say that we can make a story saying that this customer is the highest and blah 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 and so on. And then after that, what I want to do is, and I also want to link this maybe here. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so now we know that this is the number 1 customer. This is the top inventories. So what I'll do is I'll create a story. So maybe I'll put here from January to December, the total sales are amounting to RM. So amounting to this amount. So then I will just link back to this cell over here. So that's the storyline. From January, it is this sale. Then after that, what's next is, it is noted that, okay, then I want to link to this company. Basically, this company is the highest, is the top customer for this sales. Of course, the grammar you can actually improvise. You can ask ChatGPT to improvise the grammar. And then it is also, and then maybe you can put moreover, the highest selling inventory in, so maybe I can say in Malaysia is, okay, is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So it is how you actually want to play around with your data. So let me just create a better wording so that you can actually understand. So meaning to say I want to link this and this. But you have to bear in mind, when you link it, it will not be in proper format. So what I'll do is I'll just put here text format. And then over here, I'll put here hashtag, ##00. Okay, so that it will actually, wait, let me just close the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Okay, so put the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and there you go. So if you just say you want to remove the millions, you can do that as well. So maybe I don't want the millions. So you put your 3 zeros and another 3 zeros and there you go. So now it becomes this amount. And then maybe you want to link with million, up to you. So maybe I'll just put here and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 million. Okay, so now this is the word. Okay, so we have about this million. And then after that, let me just put it over here. So I'm going to select this text join. Text join is something that can combine the words. Delimiter is the space, comma. And then after that, I want to put number 1. I select this word. and I select all this. Okay, so now it looks better, but maybe let me just put a full stop over here because this one needs a full stop and this also needs a full stop. Okay, maybe here, wait, let me just give a space. Okay, alright, so I think it looks better. Wait, let me just amend the cosmetic. It's not nice, and yeah, this one I'll put here a full stop, and this one over here, so I'll put a full stop. Okay, so now it looks better. So now let me do is what? Let me just clean this. I put this as merge and center and link to this. Okay, so now let me just wrap text. So when I wrap text, you can see the magic. Make it bigger. Okay, left align, and the size is 24. Okay, so let me just reduce the size a bit. Okay, from January to December, the total sales are amounting to 49.81 million. It is noted that 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 is top customer for the sales. Moreover, the highest selling inventory in Malaysia is 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃. When I click Johor, so of course it changes. So this is the thing. Of course, the grammar is not perfect, but you can actually make a storyline. So using, you don't need PowerPoint to make an interactive. Of course, PowerPoint is easier. You just write the text and so on. But what makes Excel so interactive is you have the slicer to make it an interactive presentation. So just like that, you can make a presentation saying that, okay, from this January to December, the total sales are amounting to 9.26 million. It is noted that 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃, this company, is the top customer for the sales. Moreover, the highest selling inventory in Sarawak is compressor.